How to attract clients and avoid the feast or famine that many personal trainers struggle with. In today's video, myself and Andrew are going to talk about lead magnets, how you can bring people into your business 24/7, and hopefully some of those people eventually, if you've got the right systems in place, will become paid for clients. Andrew, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Eric. I'm looking forward to this one. In particular, we've both got experience well in each of these ones that we've discussed, but certainly I like this one as an example to share.
Now, brilliant. So, look, Andrew, before we dive into the actual specifics of video workouts as a lead magnet, just give us an overview, really, in terms of what lead magnets mean for someone that might be here today for the first time, never heard that expression before. Just give us a 10,000 foot view of what a lead magnet actually is and how it's used.
Yeah, cool. That 10,000 foot view, a lead magnet essentially is in my opinion, a free piece of value that we give in exchange for somebody's email address, their name, and perhaps equally importantly, their time, because time is an important asset that we have. Um, I think of it as, and I'll use an example. A few weeks back when we were in Denver, we went to a street market. There was a stall. They had raw nutrition bars and they had little bits sliced up, and they were giving away little samples for us to try. You have a bite. If you like it, you're now more likely to go and buy, which we did.
Yeah.
But I think about four or five of them. A lead magnet works exactly the same way, except that it happens online. So we've discussed in previous episodes a free meal plan, 7-day workout, a workshop, a mini video training, etc. But the goal's the same. Give your ideal client something generally of value for free, and in return, we get their email address, and they're on our list to build a rapport, follow up with, etc.
No, brilliant stuff. And that's a nice segue into, I guess, the system behind the lead magnet, because one of the mistakes that I made when I first started out was, well, a few mistakes, well, a lot of mistakes, but in terms of
We've
lead magnets,
we've all made mistakes, and
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
importance of the calls like here is that we can outline and for the guys to learn. If
yeah,
you're watching this, learn from our experience.
yeah. So was to have too many lead magnets, but any lead magnet that I put out there was in isolation of my training. It was just like a random lead magnet. I put it out there on social media, nothing would happen. I would then try and get another lead magnet, nothing would happen. So what I'll quickly do now is just show a system behind the lead magnet itself and how to avoid chopping and changing all the time, but more importantly, how to set the system up so that it can be working in the background 24/7 whilst you're training clients, whilst you're on holiday, maybe whilst you're watching a Netflix series on TV, whatever it might be. So let me just share the screen and go through this. And if it is the first time you've been here watching this, if you want to go even deeper on this, what I'm about to share, there is a link below this video which you can click on and you can get some free training. But let me share screen. Let me know when you can see this, Andrew, on screen, please.
Just firing up now. There we go.
Okay,
All
so
clear.
and before I go through this, just comment below if you are currently using a lead magnet, because I say it's something which myself and Andrew have become more adept at lately, and certainly in our own businesses, but certainly as coaches now, we both have these in place. So looking at the screen, let's just go around this in a clockwise direction. At the top, you've got signature offer. In our opinion, everybody should have their own signature offer system, something that's a specific service for a specific person with a specific goal they want to achieve. In my case, it was weight loss, women over 40, professionals that wanted to lose anywhere between 20 and 50 pounds plus. So that was my signature offer, and that's what you need. Now, what we recommend you do is from that signature offer, you extract an element of that, a slither of that, and you make that your lead magnet. So you're basically taking a bit of your signature offer system and you are offering that as a lead magnet, knowing full well that it will give value, provide value to the person, but also if they enjoy that particular lead magnet, there's a very good chance they're going to enjoy your whole program because it's come from your program. So That's the sliver, the lead magnet. You need to make sure it's attractively packaged so people look at it and think, that's worth investing in. You want to set that up on some sort of a landing page, and we'll give you some examples as we go through. I'll certainly give you one of my examples. You want to set it up on a landing page, a page where people are directed. There's a bit of blurb, they put their email or the name their email in, then they get access to the said gift. And once they get that gift, this is where the 24/7 set it and almost forget it. They go into an email sequence that's automated. So you're not having to send out emails every week. This is an automated system, and typically anywhere between 3 and 5 emails. 5 is kind of like a sweet spot of automated emails that go out to people. I'm not going to go into the detail of those emails. You can access that during the training. And then, of course, you need a source of traffic to get people to your landing page. Now, in my case, I use YouTube. So I'll do a YouTube video. Within that video, there will be a call to action for people to go and get the gift or the lead magnet that I may well be talking about in that video. So that's the system there in its entirety. That's very, very quick. But if you want to go into more detail, say click the link below the video. You can go in there and you can access PDF along with some video training as well. Andrew, anything to say at all on this system of not just creating a lead magnet, but having a system behind it so that people can actually set it and almost forget it?
I think the system's key, Eric. And it's, as we've said numerous times, we've got to the stage we are, and you've got this Spark system laid out through trial and error, and just through the experience over the years of learning what's working, and perhaps more importantly, where we drop the ball as fitness professionals trying to run successful businesses. So it's the system's key, and this, in my view, really helps us differentiate ourselves from perceived competition in your local area. So if you're competing for similar clients and your marketing has got roughly the same messaging as every other personal trainer or fitness studio out there, then it's difficult for your prospects to determine if you're the right solution.
Yeah.
And it then comes down to, well, hey, who's the cheapest? That becomes a determining factor in um, uh, um, their
I guess decision making.
decision making. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was, dropped that. So
Yeah.
we all have our own style of coaching,
Mm.
but most of us do not have that documented into the system. So for you to have that as the initial part of the Spark system, I think is key. Everything then flows from that, and if we're then able to pull out a lead magnet, as you say, a sliver from the overall program that you relay, then I feel that's that's a great differentiator because, and I didn't mention this in the bit about lead magnets, but the lead magnet shouldn't try and solve everything. It should
Mm.
solve one specific problem
Yeah.
for one specific type of person. So
Yeah.
I, you might have made the same mistake, but initially I was excited when I qualified as a PT. I wanted to train people. I'll
Mm.
train everyone and anyone.
Mm.
But again, that's vanilla. We need to hone our skills and determine the types of clients that we're good at working with, but equally we enjoy working with, and we get that,
Yeah.
and we're able to then to outline a much better thing. And recently, just on lead magnets, to give an example, I was working with a client over in Germany who part of his IP, his system, mobility is key because he works with over 50s.
Mm.
So we put together, rather than the ultimate guide to fitness, it was the 7-minute mobility plan for busy dads over 40. So
Yeah.
it was aimed specific audience, which was more popular than what he had
Mm.
recently. So I just share that just to give some more insights into why we're talking about these things today.
No, I think it's a good. I think it's a good example, and and people, if you're listening to this for the first time, when we say it must solve a specific problem. It may not, let's say, for example, you're struggling with breakfasts and you say, right, there's a 7 day plan for high protein breakfasts. Okay, that solves a breakfast problem. But equally, it could be something that just gives an insight. It doesn't have to necessarily solve the problem. It might just be here's an insight into, for example, the mindset journey that somebody might go through in order to lose 5 stone. You might lay some steps out. So that doesn't necessarily solve a problem, but what it may
Exactly.
do is give somebody an insight into, all right, there are some specific steps I need to go through in order to achieve that 5 stone weight loss. So just adding that in there so people or anybody
That's a
listening
good.
doesn't think, oh, I've got to solve a problem. No, what you need to do is give them something that is of value, um, rather than thinking you've got to solve a problem.
It's a good point. It is it's an extremely important point, and it goes in line with what I'm seeing online now in other industries where the buzzword is micromagnets. So it's rather than putting out a PDF, as I said, solving a particular problem, it's solving one element as you've outlined there. That
Mm.
so they understand that hey, they get a win from downloading your lead magnet, but equally they can see that it's only the first part of any number of follow-up steps. But now they've got an understanding, they've got clarity that hey, it to overcome this challenge, I've got to break it down. I've dealt with one part, but I can see that Eric or you watching, you've got the other elements that within your program that's going to help them achieve that longer term goal, and that's where a good lead magnet can come into play.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of giving away some good stuff either, because again, often trainers are worried that, well, if I give this away, why would they want to even work with me? Well, I would say 90 to 95% of the time when people work with somebody is not necessarily because of the lead magnet, although that can be it can help to start the relationship. But what
Mhm.
people are often paying for, in my opinion and my experiences, they're paying for accountability. I signed a lady up just the other day, in her 50s, works in a university, blah, 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 blah. The conversation was typical. It was, I know what to do, I know what I should be doing, I know what I should be eating. But it came down to her saying, but I need that accountability. And don't underestimate the power of accountability, because it's huge. Just having the ability to be able to speak to somebody in real time about their issues is really, really valuable. Whether they're speaking to you online, as I do now, or whether they're coming to your facility once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, that's their opportunity to connect with another human being and discuss what's going on. So don't underestimate that. So let's give an example. You have an example of a lady called Betty. Is it Betty Rocker, I believe?
It is. Oh,
So
can you give me share access, and
yeah, yeah.
I
Let,
can
let me
share my
just pull.
screen.
Let me
Yeah.
just pull it up for you now. Let me know if you can see that. Let's talk a bit about her.
Oh, cool. There we go. Yeah, so this is Betty Rocker. Her real name's Brie, but she's got this character, this superhero, perhaps, Betty Rocker. And I've followed her um, through a mastermind group that I was part of a number of years ago when we were discussing how to position yourself as an authority in the fitness world. Bree, and this isn't a quick win. She's been like any overnight success. There's 10 years of experience behind that. She started out originally writing blog posts,
Mhm.
then realized that she had the personality to go on camera. Um, she went through that learning curve as we all do, where our first videos suck.
Mm.
But we stick with it, we learn, and we improve. And she started putting together just helpful videos on her YouTube channel. Then, with the help of a coach that she had, she put together this challenge, and she, again, using her IP, her the processes she used, she gave it a great name, Make Fat Cry. So it was aimed at women, busy professional women, And she put this 30-day challenge together, used social media to amplify the message out there. Facebook advertising it was back in the day, and it's grown to what she's got here. So she's got a blog, she's got the still got the 30-day trial, she's got a thriving online community. She's even got her own app now that members can download, and she does the whole thing where she'll do cookery, nutrition, and everything. So it started out from just being helpful and wanting to get her face from there, but it's built out into video based, start video workshops, video follow along video lessons, and then follow along cooking with Brie, and well, cooking with the Betty Rocker and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's and it's all branded really well as well, so it stands out.
And I think it's worth saying there that this is the end result. This is
Very
the
important to
culmination of it
mention.
all. So, if you having, we mentioned, I'll give you an example of a landing page in a moment, but this wouldn't be a landing page. But what you're describing really is what somebody started out with, and that was her, boom, 10 years later. So, and I think that's important to mention as well, because there is a lot of hype out there around make 10K in 6 weeks or whatever it might be. But I often wonder whether or not people are just blinded by the figures. And I say that because you and I have both been in the fitness business for quite some time now. And in order to sell a high ticket program, I think one of the key elements to that is either A, having a definite system to show people how you're going to get from A to B. I think that's important. But what actually adds a little bit more to that is having the testimonials to back it up. But when you're starting out, you may not have those testimonials.
Exactly.
In fact, you may have been
You
in business for 10 years and you've never bothered to get testimonials. But I think having those testimonials helps a lot. But back to the point of this 10K in 6 weeks, if you are trying to sell a high ticket program like that and you haven't really got a system, you need to have some sort of a testimonial. And to get a good testimonial, I don't know about you, but I reckon at minimum to show a significant difference is about 12 weeks. For
Oh, for
someone
sure.
to lose a good amount of weight, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, those are the time frames. So earning really, really high figures early on before you've got that sort of success behind you, I do question that a little bit. But that's maybe a video for another time. We talk about that.
And I've had over the last few weeks a number of conversations with fitness professionals who are saying, "Hey, I would love to think of getting 10K. 10K a month would change my life."
Yeah.
And they're stuck generally, certainly below 5K a month. Some of
Mm.
them around 2K a month, and with
Yeah.
their expenses, that they're making very little. So,
Mm.
one of the and I'll share the link in the description. Is I've put together. You and I love quizzes. I've got a well, it's not necessarily, it's not a quiz, it's a scorecard.
Sure.
It's based on finding out what's holding you back in your business. Is it the system? Is it your marketing? Is it, and there's three core elements that
Mhm.
will help you define what's holding you back so that you can grow from where you are now. I'm not saying to 10K. A lot of people that will take it will get to 10K a month and
Mm.
beyond. Others, just getting to 5K a month could be, change their life significantly. So it's
Mm.
finding what it is. But as you say, look, it's the magic number that they
Yeah.
talk about, and they wave the carrot, and a lot of the time they're trying to sell something. And it is possible with it. I've seen it time and time again, but you've got to look at what you need and what level you need to get to, and ignore the noise and just focus then on what you need to do day in, day out to achieve your goals.
Yeah, and I think what we spoke about in that little video not video, that screenshot I showed you of the Spark system, that's one of the foundational systems pieces that you need in place. Because big, successful, I want to say big businesses, but people that are earning, I would say consistently well, actually, I would say if you're earning consistently over 2, 3K a month, month in, month out consistently, I think you're doing well in the world of
Mhm.
fitness. I think if you're hitting 5K, I think you're doing exceptionally well. What people don't talk about often is like the boring stuff of setting these systems up, setting up the emails. It's all about earn the big money, but behind the scenes, in order for you to get paid the sort of money you want to get paid, there has to be systems in place. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart. And lead magnets, in my humble opinion, and I think was it Daniel Priestley said, all successful businesses or success always flows from leads. You need to get leads in. That's the top of the funnel, as it were. You've got to get leads in so that can then trickle down to some more interested people, trickles down to people that may get on a call, trickles down to people that turn up on the call, and then trickles down again to people that say, yeah, I want to work with you. So it's having that realistic view of how it really works, but having that system set up. And I'll just dip into an example now of another a lead magnet, but please jump in, Andrew, if you've got anything to say whilst I get this link.
Yeah, because again, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. And I've worked with two ends of the spectrum. I've worked with a fitness studio owner that was generating certainly over 750K a year, nearly a million in
Mm.
revenues. And their take home after the busiest year in their life was them personally was just under £15,000 for the year.
Wow.
Whereas on the switch side, I've had someone that was complaining that they couldn't get beyond 7.5K a month,
Mm.
but because they'd kept their expenses lean, they were taking home like 5K of that. And I said, that's a success. Stop looking at these ones saying, "Hey, I've earned this amount."
Yeah, yeah,
Look at what you retain and what you're taking home yourself, and
yeah,
just find that level. And they had so the ones earning 7.5K, much less stress, no big overheads, no big
yeah.
team to manage. And we know, you'll know even more so than me, that managing a team comes with its own headaches and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I've got to the stage in my life, and we've discussed this outside of the podcast, in that we want that simpler life. We know what's important to us. We
yeah,
enjoy the work we do. We don't see it as work, but equally, there's other outside interests that we want to have more time. So that if we can automate our business and have that structure and based around the Spark system, then it just makes life so much easier and so much more fun.
yeah, yeah. And maybe just comment below, how much are you looking to generate in your business? Are you looking to replace maybe a part-time income? Is it full-time income? Does it need to be 2K, 3K, 5K? Now, what is it you're looking to generate in your business? And maybe what are you currently generating in your business? So let me share this landing page, one that I've created myself for my business, just to give you a real life example. So this is called the Six Appeal. It's a basic landing page. I created it in Kajabi. Real life client here. Unlock the power of the Six Appeal workout. A bit of blurb in here. They put the name, they put their email in. And once they've
Catchy
done,
title.
second,
Catchy title.
yeah. And once they put the details in, the page they then go to is this one. Let me know when you can see this one, Andrew. So imagine they put the details in. Does that come up?
There it is. Yep, I can see that.
So what you've now got is a landing page. Um, there's no buttons up here. They can't press on anything else. If I click on here, you'll see my client on the left and right, left. So we're doing, right. So you can see the before, the after. So it's a real life client, which I think is good from an authenticity point of view.
For
I
sure.
then go into doing a demonstration myself of the workout. You see me just working out in my place, doing the basic warm up, and then I go through some of the simple exercises. So this workout is actually taken from my program because I teach my clients this six appeal workout. So again, as I said earlier, take a slither out of your core program, your signature offer system, and then offer it up. And the other thing they get on this page then is the opportunity, if they wish, so they've had their goodies delivered, they can book a free call if they want. And then there's some more information on the page, like success stories, a bit about the program. I think there's a bit about me on here as well. Should be, is there? Yeah, a bit about me right at the bottom. So this is what they actually get once they have put their details in. So you have to deliver on the promise you've made so that people don't feel like they've been scammed, basically. You have to deliver something of value. So do take your time to make sure you're doing that. Don't scam people, because if you do, that's it. You've lost them forever.
And it's a good point, I think, to make here. And you mentioned this earlier when we looked at the Betty Rock, and that was her website. That wasn't a landing page, as Erak has shown with his own example. But it's like the example I always give is that don't compare yourself to someone that's 10 years ahead of you in experience and they've got the finalized version. Look at what you offer, what who the type of client you want to attract, and just start with version one. Get it out there. And as with Apple, they bring a phone out, they get it 80% ready for market. But then there's always, if you dive straight in and buy the latest Apple phone next month, there's going to be issues. There's going to be, things that they need to address.
Yeah,
And that's when version 1.1 comes, 1.5, version 2. And so as they realize the issues that are wrong with it through
yeah,
feedback, and then you can improve. And that's when I've taken that approach in building out any program I've done, both in the fitness field and then in marketing, as a fitness professional, is that make sure you've got it as ready as you can be, but get it
mm,
out there. Don't wait to perfect it, because perfection, that never happens. There's always going to be something that we feel that we can improve.
yeah,
So, take that first step, and that's where you'll get traction. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes in when we look at people who we perceive we're better than. And
mm,
then we start questioning how are they doing so much better? Why are they more successful as me? Well, they may or may not be as successful. Seeing somebody on
mm,
social media doesn't necessarily mean that they're successful, but those that are striding forward and being a success is because they took that first step, and they improve as they go along.
No, 100%. And I think getting started, getting something out there is critical. I know when I first started out in the weight loss space, if I'd have looked around at everyone that was successful, trainers, online stuff, which wasn't as prevalent then, I'll be honest, because I got started early 2000s. But not just the gyms, the trainers, but also Weight Watchers, Slimming World, all these other organizations out there that are well established, got fantastic testimonials, got systems in place. You're thinking, well, you could easily think, well, why should I even bother? Well, you bother because somebody's going to resonate with you. Someone's going to like your style of delivery. Someone's going to like your approach. Someone's going to like your values, your belief systems, how you see weight loss, if that's your thing or whatever it is you're doing. How do you see it? And there'll be people out there that see it exactly the same as you. And just bringing this to a bit of a close, I guess, your lead magnet is just a snippet of who you are. So you're basically
Exactly.
putting out in the marketplace a little bit of you. And if people resonate with that little bit of you, be it a PDF, be it a video, be it a live workshop, whatever it is, if they resonate, and some will, not everybody will resonate. Just like if you're watching this video now, you might think, "Who are these two plonkers on video?" You
I've
might,
I've heard all this before, but
uh,
it's important
uh,
point, because I remember somebody saying to me, "I've heard everything you've told me
hmm,
before, but you said it in such a way that the penny finally dropped." And that's
yeah,
why it's so important, because they're with you for, well, not literally for life, but they're with you. They're a fan of what you say. They can see that you understand the issue they've got. There's a good chance they're going to invest into the programs that you offer then, because you're on that same wavelength. And as you say, we don't want everybody to be jumping in. We just want to find the people that we resonate with, because we're going to have so much more fun then
yeah,
working with them, and they're going to enjoy the process and get the results that they deserve.
yeah. So again, if you're watching this and you like what you've heard and you want to go a little bit deeper in terms of lead magnets, check out some of the other episodes, but also check out that free training. Just click the link below and you can get access to that starting from today. Andrew, I will see you on the next call.
Looking forward to it. Have a great
Bye for
day,
now.
everyone.
Cheers.
Bye for now.
Bye.